Hi, I'm Catherine Lazorko, Communications Manager.
And I'm Maurice Jones, the Town Manager for Chapel Hill.
And we're joining you from the Council Chamber of Town Hall to give you an update on Council activity. So I understand that the Council now has a strategic plan.
It does. The Council's been working with staff now for about 7 or 8 months or so, and actually dating back even further on developing a strategic plan with goals and objectives, and then ultimately initiatives that we would follow and implement to try to reach the goals and objectives on issues like environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, having a safe community. We started this conversation more recently with the Council back during our retreat in January, had a very good discussion about what the Council wanted to see out of this plan based on previous plans that we have in place here in Chapel Hill. And now we've got a series of initiatives that are tied to that as well. We are developing metrics to help us understand if we're meeting our goals and objectives, and those will all be tied to our business plans that we have in our departments, which will help us move forward to achieve the goals and objectives that the Council has set forth for us and our community.
An important framework for the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I know that one of the ways that the Council expresses its interest and priorities is through funding. And another recent activity was the passing of the Human Service Agency funding.
That's correct. That's about $446,000 that has been recommended by the Human Services Advisory Board. They will accept applications from nonprofit agencies and then review those applications and then come forth with their recommendations. And they did that once again. That $446,000 is part of the $116 million budget that the Town Council passed just a few weeks ago. And now it will go forth in the new fiscal year. That $446,000 will be dispersed to those nonprofit agencies that went through the process. Another part of that process this year for us was a discussion over the possibility of tweaking that process a little bit, maybe doing it a little bit earlier in the year so that we can bring it to Council a little sooner in the budget discussion. And so we'll be working with our staff and with the nonprofit partners on that as well, beginning in the fall.
Okay. Another item is the short-term rentals. I know that the Council is looking into a way to possibly manage that area.
Yeah, I think trying to find the right balance when it comes to short-term rentals or Airbnbs in our community. We have a number of those, hundreds that are in our community here in Chapel Hill. On one side, it's a really important part of the sharing economy. It's a great option for folks who are looking for different types of accommodations when they're traveling, aside from hotels. And at the same time, our hotels are seeing this as an unregulated area of accommodation and have come to us to ask us to look into different ways to approach this and maybe find the right regulations that we could put in place when it comes to public safety and health and that type of thing. And then we've also been approached by our neighborhoods who are concerned that some of these short-term rentals could become, in essence, de facto hotels that could cause some growing pains when it comes to neighborhood protection as well and quality of life. So what we're trying to do is find the right balance there. Council has asked us to go and do a little more research on this and what would work and come back with some options that would work well for Chapel Hill to find that right balance between allowing that shared economy sharing economy to continue to grow here, but to do it in a way that protects neighborhoods and brings some balance and fairness to the accommodations industry that we have here in Chapel Hill.
Okay, so the interest is not in enforcement at this time. It's more research and moving forward with
research and education, working with our the stakeholders in our community so that they have an understanding of what the law is, what it could be in the future, hearing from folks on both sides of this issue to come up with a solution that we think would work for us.
Okay. So I know there's been progress on a year-long project called the Future Land Use Map.
That's correct.
Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, well, at the last council meeting, we presented on one version of the map, and council agreed that this would be a version of the map that maps for different corridors that we're looking at for future growth that would go to the public this summer to gather feedback from folks in the community before coming back to council in the fall. This is a very preliminary look at these corridors and what uses could be there, not only in the next 2, 3, 4 years, but also in the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So it really is kind of a big picture look at what could happen in these 6 corridors here in Chapel Hill with the hope of having some understanding of the best way to develop those in the future.
So while we call it a map, it's not a zoning map. It is a broad kind of overview, future.
That's correct, and it's not something that we would codify right now. The real heavy lifting for this will occur with the rewrite of our LUMO, our land use management ordinance. That will come down the road. This will help feed that process, and then down the road we'll have more discussion as we adjust the code to meet the needs of our community in the future.
And opportunities this summer to get involved and learn more about that.
Absolutely. There will be plenty of opportunity to hear from the public throughout the course of the next couple of months and into the fall.
Okay. Anything else to add?
No, I think we've got a lot.
Okay. Well, it's been a busy and productive year with the council.
It has been.
And
a lot of good work with the community as well. I heard a lot from folks here in Chapel Hill, which I think makes this a special place to live. So we encourage folks to continue to let us know their opinions on these really important issues that affect their lives.
So we take a little bit of a break this summer from council meetings, but we'll be back in September. So we appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Take care.